Good morning, and good morning to the second day of MRMW 2014 here in Chicago. I hope there weren't too many wild Chicago nights, and there's not too many sore heads in the audience. It looks like one or two people are still recovering. But at the same time, of course, I hope you enjoyed the conference yesterday, our first day, and the networking reception that SSI hosted as well. Again, just a few logistic remarks and reminders from my side before we kick things off for what I think is a really exciting second day. In your documentation packs, you have the agenda as well as the flyers and information from our sponsors. You also have a paper evaluation form. We don't actually use a mobile evaluation form, to our own shame. But please do help us out to improve this conference by filling out the evaluations and share your thoughts with us of what we can improve, what we can do different for the coming years. I've had a lot of questions about the presentations and the videos and the photographs that we're taking during the events, and we will actually distribute all the presentations that we can publish with the authorization of the speakers a couple of weeks after the event. So you will all receive an email with a link to the videos, to the photos, and also to the presentations that we can distribute, so you can reference back to everything that you've seen and heard over the last couple of days. The program of today is another long and full day, and we have thought of a couple of things to make sure that you stay on the edges of your seat. So we will have a couple of lucky draws at the end of the day. I know one of the prizes that's sponsored by Lumi is a US soccer jersey, and I think the US team is playing Germany in the World Cup, but we still, of course, hope that they'll be going very far. So stay with us, drop your cards at the different stands, and at the end of the day, we'll have a couple of lucky draws, prizes for the most active Twitterer, as well as the raffle for the soccer shirt and other things. With that, I would like to introduce our chairperson for the second conference day, Imran Anwar, who is a technology innovator, thought leader, innovator, frequent speaker, the man who wears so many caps and has so many traits that's really hard to summarize. But I'm very happy to have Imran here again, because he's also a long follower and supporter of the MRNW conference series. So with that, please help me to welcome Imran to the stage for today.
Thank you. And good morning, everybody. And it's always funny for me to say good morning, because I'm the person who does not do mornings, and I try to set early morning meetings at 10 a.m. But here I was at 8 o'clock for you guys, and that's how great and exciting this conference is always for me. Really delighted to be here, and thanks, Jens, for that introduction. I was hoping for a longer one, actually, because I thought that's why we were starting at 8:45. But so, I didn't get my airline money's worth yet. But anyway, seriously, folks, this is a really great time to be alive. It's such a great time to be alive in this world where so much is changing so fast for the better, impacting everybody's lives so quickly. And what a great time to be in this industry when it's giving us the opportunity not just to be able to benefit from the changes taking place, not just in our industry, but in related industries. A few years ago, who would have thought that technology and market research or technology and marketing would go hand in hand as much as they do today? And this is just the beginning. And what I love about being at a conference like this is that it melds the best of those worlds. And with thought leaders like you here, I always learn so much. So one of the best parts of being at a conference like this is that I can stand here, have some pictures taken, looking like I'm saying something intelligent, but I'm really here to learn from you guys. So one quick note I would like to add on is that my first foray into speaking at a conference like this in the marketing or market research world started back in 2006 when I was invited to speak at ESOMAR's conference in Barcelona. And it was such a delightful experience. Now, my background is pretty interesting for me, at least, which is that I am an electronics engineer, but I have an MBA from Columbia University in strategy and marketing and innovation management, plus, as I said, my engineering degree. And so a lot of people would ask me why I did not pick one of those things instead of having this hodgepodge of stuff, plus my work in journalism, etc. And I said to everybody back then also was that the only way for us to thrive, not just survive, but to actually thrive in this brave new future that we were looking at, was to be able to take the best of everything from every industry, from every element of the world out there, and put it together. And few industries are in a position to do that right now than ours, because what we do, what we put out there, helps our clients go out and create programs, create offers, create ways to engage with the customer of the future that were unthinkable a few years ago. So thank you so much for having given me the opportunity. So without further ado, which a lot of people say without further ado, which always drives me insane, the topic of the first keynote today is really an exciting topic for me, which is understanding the role of mobile and social networks in the consumer shopping experience. And I love to shop and I love to be on social networks all the time. But I try to avoid being the person who is out shopping in a mall who's so busy doing their Twitter or Facebook update that they fall into the water fountain in the mall. So how to avoid doing that, we have a great group here, Jayne from Firefly, Millward Brown, and Jonathan Feigenbaum, I got it right, from Lumi are here to illuminate us.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning. I don't know that we'll be able to tell you how to avoid falling in a fountain, but we hope to give you a few tips that might be helpful in other ways. As mentioned, I am Jayne Dow. I am with Firefly Millward Brown. I am a Director of Research and Digital Innovation. I'm here with John Feigenbaum. He is actually not with Lumi, he's with Facebook. And he leads CPG measurement here at Facebook in the Midwest. Did I get that right? I got that right. All right. We're here today to share with you our learning on the role of mobile and social while shopping and its impact on the shopping experience. This winter, there was this BuzzFeed meme that was floating around the internet. And it featured these very surreal photos of abandoned malls throughout America. These vast expanses that were kind of lonely fragments of their former self. The commentary about these photos were fascinating. People were a bit creeped out, they were a bit sad, but they were also very nostalgic, longing for a simpler time. For it wasn't that long ago that the only place that we had to go to find out what was available or to get ideas about or ask questions about products was at the mall or the store. We shopped with our friends and we got their feedback while we were at the mall or the store. And we looked at sales circulars and we watched newspapers for sales notices. And when we found something at the right price, we actually went to a store and we bought it. And then we shared this with our friends and our family. This simpler time sentiment, however, is not necessarily about what's rooted in reality, but more a reflection of how times have changed. For today, we still go to malls and we still go to stores, but it might not be our only option, and it's likely not our first choice. And while we're there, we have these little devices that we carry on our person all the time, and they provide us with this instant access to product information and price from other stores and even feedback from our friends. So altogether, the shopping in the mall, in store, well, it's way different. So what's really happening in store? And what is the role of mobile and the role of social? And how do marketers and brands find ways to break through at key moments? The answer to this is born out of a two-part study that was commissioned by Facebook this winter. The quantitative portion was conducted by Millward Brown Digital throughout the 4 weeks of holiday shopping, which I think arguably is probably peak shopping season. There were 500 shoppers that were surveyed on a weekly basis on the Monday following their shopping excursion. or their shopping weekend, I guess you could call it. We also passively tracked their smartphone activity while they were shopping, as well as 24 hours before and after their shopping. And I assure you, they knew they were being tracked. The qualitative was a 3-day mission-based idea blog, which is what we call an online discussion. We had conversations, and we did this during the kickoff weekend to the holiday shopping season, which obviously is also known as Black Friday. We had conversations with 36 people throughout the United States who had planned to shop during that weekend. And during that time, we also asked them to imagine that they were buying a television on Black Friday. And we asked that they check in using our mobile check-in app every time they had an interaction in that process. This is a very 2D static illustration of the sequence of that experience. We've had a lot of great success using mobile methods when we use mobile in a way that is akin to mobile behaviors that already exist in every day. So as with Facebook and with Foursquare, people love checking in and they love sharing their experiences. So in this instance, we used, every time somebody checked in on an interaction, we kind of stuck with the what, where, and how basics, and then we gave people opportunities to provide some candid expression through pictures, and also an opportunity to rate the experience and tell us why. Mobile for us has provided a very efficient way into people's worlds, when otherwise it was intensive, often restrictive, and expensive. And so when we think about using mobile methods, we do so with three very simple goals in mind. We need immediate anytime access for those hard to get insights that otherwise aren't attainable in person. Other times we're looking for that intimacy, that connectedness and realness that will help us provide contextual relevance to the experience. And finally, we want to ensure authenticity by making sure that we capture the reactions and feelings as they happen. And this is particularly powerful when you have people going through sensitive scenarios and they wouldn't otherwise be able to articulate the essence of that experience. Through all of this, we learned that the human fundamentals of shopping haven't changed. People still shop, and they still research, and they still solicit feedback. We found out that people still have an idea of what they want to buy. They have strategies for staying on budget, but they like to buy things on a whim when they discover things in store. And they still get very excited about buying things that they can find that they want at a good price, and they love, love, love to share this with their friends and their family. It is the medium in which people plan and research and that they get information, as well as sharing that experience, that has changed. Mobile and social are key for people in store, and they are central players in the in-store experience.
Great, thank you, Jayne. I'm going to talk a little bit now about the quantitative portion of the research we did together. And first, I'm going to start with the role of mobile. It's not really surprising that we actually saw 94% of people who go shopping in store have their mobile device with them. This actually was backed up pretty well by the qualitative commentary. We saw that shoppers felt like their smartphone was their partner, their hero. It was saving the day when they needed more information about the product or trying to find the best price. So while most people had their smartphone or their device with them while they were shopping, 65% of these people said that they do shopping-related activities on their smartphone while they're in the store. So what are they doing? Most of them are using their smartphone to get feedback from their family and friends. They're using it to find deals they may have missed, and really get store information and get product information. So it's their window to all the information that they need while they're in the store. What we found pretty surprising, though, was we took a look and we asked these shoppers when they're actually using their mobile device. And 64% said that they were actually using them in the store aisle while they were looking at products. 44% of them said they were using it in the parking lot, maybe before they're going to the store to maybe check on some products or look for deals. And 28% said they were using it actually in the checkout line at the point of purchase. So they're using their mobile device all through their shopping experience. What's pretty interesting about this too is it tells us that these consumers haven't made up their mind yet. So they're going into the store, they may not be sure what they want to buy, and they may need a little help from a message from a brand or an advertiser. So why do we see this shift? In the past, when a consumer would want to do research on products before going into the store, they'd have to do that at home. They'd sit down at their desktop or their laptop because that was connected to the internet. They could look for products, look for deals, do this research beforehand, and then once they felt ready, they can get up and go to the store and find those products and make that purchase. Now that every user has an internet-connected, powerful computer in their pockets, they don't feel the need that they have to actually do a lot of research beforehand. So when we asked users, 66% of them said they spend less than 1 hour researching before entering the store. This is important to marketers and advertisers because it's really showing them that, again, they're undecided. They don't know exactly what they want to buy yet when they're going into the store, and you can really influence them and put a message in front of them. So we wanted to dig a little deeper into this, and as Jayne mentioned, we used, through the Millward Brown panel, passive tracking. And we took a look of those users who said that they were shopping during certain times during the shopping season. What apps were they opening? What were they using? How long were they spending on these apps? What we found was pretty surprising. We saw that while shopping in store, people used Facebook 4 times more frequently than all the other apps that we were tracking. So this includes search, Google, Bing, Yahoo. This includes other social media. And this also includes e-commerce sites. Pretty surprising. And so why is this? Why are people using Facebook so much? So we asked them, you're in the store, you're taking out your smartphone, you're actually you're opening Facebook, you're looking at your newsfeed. Why are you doing that? What are you doing on that? The majority of people that we asked said it was for discovery purposes. What we mean by that is they're still looking for information. Maybe they want to check their newsfeed to see what their friends and family are buying, what stores they're shopping at. Also, connecting with friends and family to get recommendations. They can do that through Facebook. And so this is, again, important for advertisers and marketers because we want to reach consumers where they're spending their time, and we want to reach them with a very relevant message. And so if they are in their newsfeed looking for information, that's a great place to reach them with a brand message. So I want to leave you with 3 key takeaways today from this research. And the first one is mobile and social media and Facebook are key exposure opportunities for a brand when consumers are in the store. They come to the store, they may be undecided, they're using their smartphone, they have it with them, they're on social media. You can actually help them discover information or garner product consideration, purchase consideration in that store. Number 2 is most shoppers are still pretty undecided when they're going into the store, and you can catch those shoppers in the aisle, at checkout, in the parking lot, and with that right message to enhance their experience. And finally, brands that deliver really meaningful messages and add tangible value to the in-store shopping experience, and whether that's on the mobile device, on Facebook, or whatnot, that will help you win your consumer consideration. So this was just a taste of this research that we did. We're going to be releasing the full study in the next few weeks in June. So take a look for that. That will be on facebook.com/business. In the meantime, if you have any questions about the research, feel free to drop me an email. If you have questions about path to purchase or purchase behavior research, you can talk to George Donovan at Millward Brown, and he can help you with that. But I just want to thank you all for your attention today and your interest, and I will open the floor up to any questions.
I had a question, at least to get us started, which is, one, sorry about not mentioning Facebook as your company. I mixed 2 speakers. I was so busy making a Facebook update, I didn't realize you were at Facebook. Question, when you mention the fact that people like to connect with people and ask about their purchases, at the same time, you also know that we consumers love to buy things that are exclusive, that if we found a deal, we don't want anybody else to know where that deal is, or if we found a lady finds a dress, she doesn't want 10 other friends wearing it. So how does that play into the data that you're finding, or is society changing overall because of social? What are your thoughts on that?
So in the research, both quantitative and qualitatively, we saw evidence of people who were using Facebook to find these deals and having relationships with brands and going on the internet to find these exclusive deals. And they were also looking to their friends and family to give them kind of the heads up as to whether or not these deals were available, whether that be through a special code. But I led the qualitative portion of this, and we got so many comments from people and so many instances where they described that they were in the heat of their shopping experience, and they were using their mobile device and also Facebook to find out, to get something from Kohl's, or to find out where their friend who was now getting this great deal at Best Buy, and they were going to hook up with their friend to get the same deal. So it has changed a dynamic, certainly, about how shopping works, which is again sort of this harkens to a simpler time when it wasn't so complex, but I think that nobody that we talk to would ever want to go back. And it is those special deals, and that is equivalent to sort of what the meaning of tangible value is. And so you have to be mindful of what that is when you're thinking about where people are and what they want from the brand.
And I have a question for Jonathan as a quick follow-up, which is, you mentioned check-ins, and I've been very active on Foursquare, then I've dropped off. Sure. When we hear about security issues or some incident happens, do you notice a peak, an ebb and flow to the amount of traffic on the check-ins that people do of any kind? If some sort of incident happens that's in the media, for example, do people respond to that right away? Do check-in volumes drop right away and then they pick up? Have you noticed any patterns there?
You know, I haven't seen any patterns yet. They may be there. Obviously don't have that data in front of me. I think consumers really like sharing with their friends, and if they trust their social media platform and they trust that their data is secure, they want their friends to see what they're doing. They want to show them, recommend things to them, and keep track of where they've been and the places they've visited. So, again, I think as long as that consumer trust is there, people will continue to be checking in and sharing with their friends.
Questions from the audience?
Over there. Over in the second table. Oh, are they going? I'm sorry. I was waiting for you. You're doing such a great job being the host.
All right, thank you. This question is for Jonathan, and thank you both for sharing your analysis with us. This is very interesting. My name is Fred Banks. I'm from the National Consumer Panel. Mm-hmm. And Jonathan, my question is, relative to the statistics that you showed regarding the device point of use, are those statistics relevant for CPG as they are for general merchandise, or was there any category-specific evaluation that you did in terms of that point of use?
Sure. So we stayed fairly agnostic in terms of the category for this study. What we really want to understand is holiday shopping, so that could be CPG, it could be outside of CPG. I don't think we looked at specific categories, so the findings we have here are just during the general holiday shopping season, how people are using their mobile device and what apps they're using.
Right, we're trying to, just in a general sense, trying to find the stickiness to keep people engaged with their device, and if it's dependent upon the category of purchasing that they're doing. That was really the relevance of the question, so thank you.
Yep. Question over there.
Back there. Red shirt. I hate to point.
Hi, I'm Kristen from Tea Garage, which is
Can
the
you put the
agency
mic
in
closer
Australia.
to?
Sorry?
There you go.
Can you hear me? Okay. I was just wondering if you looked at promoted posts, or the role of promoted posts over the period, and did that influence or change behaviors as a result, or is it just?
So for this study in particular, we actually just asked the consumers when they were going to the store and when they were shopping. So we actually had them sort of fill out a log of hours in the store during these hours during the shopping season. And then with the passive tracking, we looked and we just saw what apps they opened, how much time they spent on apps. Now, we didn't have the purview to actually see where they were exposed and what they were looking at, but I think that's a great question. That's something that I think our team would love to explore in the future.
Thank you so much. What a great
Yeah.
discussion.
Thank you.
A
Thanks,
big
guys.
round of applause for Jayne and John.